Hello there, and welcome to a new gameplay series for Dominion 6. We're gonna play some early age Vanheim in this one. So I'll be rolling up a medium world just with the last time with standard settings, and we're going to get this started just like we had the last party. There's only one difference going to be in there. I'm gonna have a victory condition on 5 of 6 thrones. There we go. Let's say hi to Vanheim. I also have included a sprite overhaul mod, so the units look a little bit more fancy. I really like that one. Can only recommend. So, the Vanir are stealthy glamour guys. So everybody who's not familiar with it, glamour acts like a mirror image spell, so there is a chance that the enemy will take an attack on the wrong image, these break then, and therefore your troops have several lives, so to speak. Our roster is based around air and glamour magic mostly. We have dwarven smiths that provide us some earth magic, and we have a decent splice into blood. And our biggest mages, the Vanadrot, they even come with some extra path into death, while our little 4G guys here can also splice into fire. That's a little bit hard to acquire, but whatever. The real interesting part about these troops is that besides the Surf Warriors, which are just your standard light infantry that's bound to die, everybody of these guys is stealthy and glamorous. This means, in battle, they are really hard to kill. Also, even your baseline Huskarl light infantry comes with a really good defense skill. 16 is enormous. They also have above average HP, so your standard troops are really powerful. The Huskarl is a spear-wielding light infantry, coming also in a different flavor with axes, which boasts more offensive power at the loss of some defense skill. These are pretty much medium infantry with all they got, whereas these guys are much less heavier armored, but their high defense skill makes up for that. In general, these guys are actually surviving longer than the axe guys, but well, there goes. The Herdman is our standard medium to heavy infantry. I say medium to heavy because their breastplate is just not heavy enough to call it really a heavy unit, but these guys do pack quite a punch. Their defense is really good, and they make up the backbone of our troops once the business gets serious. The Mounted Herdman is a cavalry unit with glamour, with an insanely high defense skill, and yeah. Their biggest downside is that their damage is relatively low. For a heavy cavalry, they ain't hitting that hard, but still, they're hard to kill. They're really, really hard to kill with that defense skill. We got the Fey Boar, which is more of a gimmick. Immortal beasties that can trample, but they die quite quickly. Their Gore attack is just, well, they have only one attack. That makes them so lousy when it comes down to attack density. They can trample, but the biggest thing about them is they are immortal, so they always come back, and they provide supplies. So if ever the enemy tries to kill us off with with lack of supplies, we have boars. Honestly, most of the time I'm not using these as I will spend my money elsewhere. And the Von Harrier. So these guys, well, they are quite the beast. They are sacred. That means they can receive blesses and get upgraded. But even without upgrades, they are insanely good. They have a really high damage profile, 2 attacks, decent armor. Of course, the whole glamour and stealth package applies to them as well. They come with berserking, which means they gain increased attack, strength, and protection, lose a little bit of defense, but in all honesty, as hard as they hit, they really can deal with a low defense. But all in all, it is worth mentioning, these guys are really not that good at defending. They are ambidextrous as well, so they can deal quite some damage with these 2 weapons. I'm gonna go over the commanders later, when we're inside the game, and let's get over to the Pretender. So, I made myself a nice little dude here, a imprisoned dwarf, and we gonna be doing only one thing. I'm gonna be reducing the research a little bit, and, well, that ain't working out as intended, is it? Well, let's lower another school that I don't need that badly. Here we go. So, we need to change or bless a little bit. We still have a little bit of extra blessing now available. Let's go for some extra... Let's see. Heroism is really stupidly strong right now. Probably, in my opinion, one of the most overpowered traits there. Let's go for something like this. Cold resistance, well, you could replace it. Strength of the Earth is, what, just a little bit more of the goodness. Could be replaced with a defense skill. We went for Undying, which makes them last even a little bit longer. Can also be stacked. Blur, making them harder to hit. Really a good one. And Heroism, gaining more XP, making them go crazy even faster. So, I'd love to have my air level on this, so let's see. Yeah, let's go for this. This will allow us to craft really, really cool stuff for our run. I reduced the magic scales because we can craft pretty decent items for the boosting of research, and our pretender starts imprisoned, as we really, really don't need our little imprisoned dwarf here to early. So story events go on, and we do lower the amount of required ascension points like that. So before we get started, if you want to see any nation in this series of mine played, really just let me know. There's also a Discord server where we're in for a chat, so I'd be really happy about that. Description box leads you there. And last but not least, check out the Twitch of mine, where I stream each weekend, so if you prefer live stuff, Fridays and Sundays, evening hours of the European time zone. Now then, let's get into our world. Let's see how it starts. Alright, so we got our Vanheim main province here, and, well... let's see, we can't say anything about the area here. That's tragic. So commander-wise, we got our standard scout. Very stealthy here, again, hard to spot. And we got Van Herses, which are leaders, mages, and priests in one thing. And they can even sail. Their big downside is that they are not capable of putting up formations. So that sucks a wee bit. We got the Van Jarls, which are basically the upgraded version, but with a splice of blood magic, which is also very interesting, as this allows us to summon some interesting stuff later down the road. The Dwarven Smith comes as a capital-only troop, which is allowing us to go for Master Smithing, which is also providing guaranteed earth magic. Pretty decent research ability, but they're way too slow in recruitment, and yeah. These guys will be used for either earth buffing mostly, or forging stuff in the backline. And the Vanadrot, well, they are the premium version here. They are kings of this nation, and, well, it shows. They can have various different paths. They're stupidly costly, and I hope we can crank out as many as possible of these in this run. The Vanadrot are capital only, as are these little guys. The rest here is recruitable anywhere. So we're gonna get started with a recruitment spree on these Vanheries, as they are really the best expansion meat that we can get. I am somewhat tempted to recruit something else, but I won't. We're also going to recruit another Von Hertz, because we need commanders, and we'll keep it like that for now. I'm gonna save up some of my money, because I really don't want to spend my money for inferior troops at that point. Okay. Special thanks to the channel of Alexander Nakarada, who finally gave me a source of free music for this series. I have the links down below. Check out his channel, it's really good stuff. And deeply appreciate providing free, cool fantasy music for us here. Now, I'll also use this music henceforth for these series, so just so you know, give this guy a hug he deserves. Digital by subscribing, of course. Alright, so we got now our first little hit squad of Vanheim, but in all honesty, they are not really that much, but we're going to smack them in here nevertheless. Hold and attack closest enemy, hold and attack closest enemy. We're going to go for a very, very basic setup here. The most important thing is that we set up a divine blessing. From that point on, my commander can do whatever Grand Lodner pleases. Now, let's check out our environs. We got, hopefully now, some intel. No, we don't. Well, so it is all conquerable. The Vanheim troops are really only susceptible against one thing, and that's true sight. That's really what breaks them quite quickly. And they are fairly invulnerable against archers. That's another thing that I really noticed recently. I think we're going to get started with the Titan Steps, go for a full circle over to Rimmire, fall back to Vanheim, and then go downstairs here. Let's try that. Alright, research-wise, we're going to opt into construction. And, well, let's go for the other level 1 things first. And then, well, our troops don't really need that much enchantments, so we're going to go for a basic level of evocations, as Lightning Bolt is a pretty decent spell once we have people that can actually cast them. Let's end our first turn and see where it'll lead us. So, the first combat at Titan Steps. So I'll be trying to show battles a little bit more thoroughly now, as this has been a request last time, especially the bigger ones. So we're going to start out with some indie bashing, as I want to showcase that at least once. The thing here is we have still those lousy Surf Warriors from our starting troops. These guys will most likely get annihilated in no time. Wow. Yeah. So as you see there, Mirror Image, or the Clamor, does not save you from the occasional stray arrow. You won't be, this is no immunity, you know, there's just a chance that they hit the wrong person. Alright, it is not really that clearly visible right now. Oh, our Surf Warriors are already routing. Yeah, great. But, these guys here, the Hoskarl and the Vanheim, are doing all the heavy lifting and taking down pretty much all of the opposition. Let's see how that played out in detail. So a couple of the Surf Warriors died, but from our elite units, nobody did die. So the Surf Warriors, though, did scatter in a way, let's see, that we basically have none left on this troop anymore. Yeah, good job. I hate it when that happens. But they are pretty useless in this regard, so we'll have to send Vozut after this here. So we are going to do the same setup here. Let's hold Control-1, so we can just copy it. And here, Blessings. This guy is ought to do Blessings, nothing more. And Vozut will just join here into this battle at this place. And here, Gray Arrow means they're trying to sneak in. Hold down left control. Stealthy troops do that. They're just a little bit different. So, I'm not spending any money on any other troops right now, as I have tried it now several times, and my conclusion was the Vanheim are all I need for my expansion. I can this way provide more gold for other things. Alright, let's check out the battle at the Black Peaks. So here we are now stacking up more and more of our elite units, and blessed they are even more deadly, as we have a lot of extras there. Especially the extra defense is really juicy, as these guys don't come with the best innate defenses. And the +2, yeah, I mean, you can min-max that even more. I didn't do this here, because I didn't feel like it. But as we can see here, our Surf Warriors are taking flight yet again, while our infantry just goes in for the clobbering. So, here we see already a bit of the innate weakness of our troops. You see those red glow on our Vanheim. That is a sign that they are berserking, and that only happens if they are wounded. So, We have 44 kills on these guys, and one of our 12 Vanheris got taken down. The majority of the Surf Warriors got now finally... they are lost in battle. But yeah, that's just... These guys are starting sweet. I like to use them early on as sort of a buffer to rely on, but in all honesty, something like this here should be doing the trick for us now. So let's see how this will work out. It's still... I don't feel that good about this, but it should be fine. So Vozut will be searching for magic sites now. Or no, he won't. He won't be. He will be going back home. He's just a very lousy site searcher. I rather recruit a Van Jarl now, which we'll be sending on that duty, because that is just way more effective. So I'm sending now extra troops to this, as I don't feel too comfy about the situation being like that. So we'll be just providing some extra Vanheris into the situation, as tribal people with a lot of ranged attack density are one of the few things that I find a little bit scary. We won't be losing the fight. I don't think that these guys over here would have been enough to lose the battle for us, but it would be enough to make the losses on our Vanheris more substantial, and I really don't like that. And as you see here, there's a massive rain of projectiles going down on us. And these guys, as good as they are in many things, they don't have any protection against projectiles. This is where we would be benefiting a lot from cavalry, which could close on into the back line of the enemy quickly. But we sadly don't have the money as of yet for that. So we had one Vanheri loss and 2 Huskarls. Considering the fact that we just beat down a position that was more than double as big as our army, I'd say we did well. So let's see. I think we're pretty okay with this so far. Let's put up a recruitment on the first Dwarven Smith here. This is also the point where I'm starting to recruit a couple of mounted herdmen on the back line. I just want to have 1 or 2 of these smiths as early as that, as I find them really useful for many artifact making processes, as we are now very close to construction level 1. Alright, so let's see. Do we have enough money for commanders here? It doesn't seem like we do. Nah, not too bad. So, yeah, we're going to leave Grand Lodner like that, as this is a strike force, believe it or not. But the Vanheim people, they can deal with that kind of troop density. So we're going to take over Star Peaks. My plans are now a little bit different. I could also go for Quat Swamp and then into the Great Mountains. Yeah, I think this is smarter. The mountain range here is really crippling me a little bit, and we need to have a sort of a pattern that will lead us to a consolidated empire of sorts. Meanwhile, Buri, our scout, will do his thing. Vozut is back here, so he can now do his researching. And let's see. So these guys here, the Van Jarls, they can do proper formation fighting, which is a real big benefit of these guys. But the first Van Jarl here will be spent on searching magic sites for us, as this is right now so darned important for me. But I'm opting out of the cavalry now, as I realize that recruiting some commanders never mind. Recruiting a commander in my provinces is very important. So yeah, we at least get one of the cavalry dudes like that. Ain't the worst thing at all. Alright, so let's check the Battle of Quat Swamp. I think speed 2 is quite nice. Zolotl casts enlarge. Alright. So we have Jaguar Tribe Slingers. These guys, again, have ranged attacks, which is always sort of a problem for us. But let's dip into the close details. I mean, we will learn spells that fend off projectiles eventually. So that would be one of the priorities. Yeah, look at that. We're shredding them to pieces. That's the thing about the Vanheims. As soon as these guys are in your face, there's nothing that stops them from mauling you like that. We didn't lose a single guy in that fight. Yeah, that showcases the power. Basically, these 16 guys and a Vanheims in combination are just already a complete served army. I love this. So let's do this against Barbarians too. Alright, I don't think I need to explore into this direction too much, as I think we can clearly see that my next expansion blob will just go that way. Dang, that's a lot of provinces that need some basic infrastructure before they can do anything. This is not what I expected. Alright, so let's see. The Dwarven Smith will be recruited next turn, so we're going to spend a lot of money this turn into cavalry. And yeah, tell you what, that little bit what we got left here is going to go into a couple of these baseline Huscarl. So we'll have next turn a nice little strike force ready to go and conquer Robberholm. It's good. It's exactly what we require. So, construction level 1 has been achieved, and we are currently not capable of forging anything too exciting with our low-tier mages and the tier 1 construction skill. Alright, Vanheims against Barbarians. I don't know how powerful the extra defense comes into play here. I just feel like it does do a lot of a difference for them. So here we go. Barbarians are usually the bane of heavy infantry, as their attacks are really good at piercing through armor, as they love to boast with these heavy weapons into battle. But yeah, the high defense and the glamour gives you a really decent chance of this happening. We just they just don't get hit. I mean, there's sometimes some elf exploding in that process. You cannot fully avoid that. But it is still, to me, always quite impressive to see how far you can take this. So Grand Lodner will now go down sides here to this area here, just like that. And we're going to keep conquering these provinces. In Vanheim, we now dial back on our recruitment. I want a Vanjarl, if possible. Yeah, looking good. And probably 2 more of these cavalry dudes. And next turn, we're going to send our man into business. So, Soromatia has appeared on the table. Alright. So we have our first piece of competition. Alright, so I won't be showcasing these battles right now anymore, as it becomes clear we're just slaughtering them. I mean, here we had a clear victory via moral break-in, as we haven't killed many of their pack there, but yeah. The really important thing to note here is also that experience gives them a lot of extra stats here yet again. That is why heroism is so stupidly powerful. And if you were out to just power game the hell out of it, well, the most easy way to do this is to stack heroism several times. I heard from my Discord friends that it's even that bad that in multiplayer games, people have already agreed on not stacking heroism several times. That's how powerful it is. Now we got some real good stuff going. We have now the cavalry also implemented, and these guys will be here on the flank or down here on the flank. We're going to keep the box formation, but the Vanheries, we're going to go into a double line formation, probably a line. I don't think I want to risk a line though, as this would make them easier die. So it stays really important that we, let's see, we ain't got no level 3 priest on that one, so blessings are absolutely mandatory. I let this guy do his casting as he pleases. I want to mention that the Vanguard with their 2 blobs of air magic are pretty good at lightning bolting. I think at level 4 we even have, we could get them into Thunderstrike area. We're going to work with that stuff later down the road. So I'm now sending my scout over to check out where the borders of Soromatia are running along. At the same time, Grand Lodner will take the Oak Woods, and Alsvin, our Vanjarl, will now attack the Robber Home, as we are now ready, set, and willing to go for more expansion. All right. So directly in Vanheim, I stick with the Vanhers for this turn, as much as I want to recruit a Vanjarl. These guys are absurdly costly. And this is one of the things about this faction, that their good troops are all really, really, really costly buggers. Our research is therefore also very hindered by gold. That is why the expansion, in the form that we are doing it right now, is so darned important. So let's see what our little dwarven guy could forge. So the black steel gear is heavy. I don't really want that. Ring of Tamed Lightning, that would be only some shock resistance. Yeah, looks like we need the construction level 3 to really get some useful things going. And I think I'll be rushing towards that as soon as we have the baseline of things discovered. All right. Let's watch our new pack in action. So this is not... Oakwoods was not the new pack. Whoopsie. I was just like, that is not what I expected. But we have a big fat monkey slaughter up at hand, so... These guys are, in some degree, quite dangerous in their approach. As you see there, their attack density here is insane. Here it would be really good if we'd had a cavalry breaking the backline, but since this was our starter expansion blob, we have to deal with some losses here. Some cavalry would have prevented that. As you see here, even these flimsy little Marcata archers are capable of killing some of our dudes. That is our hidden weakness. We don't have shields, and the Vanheri don't have the most impressive defensive skill, even after all the buffing and all the blessing. Alright, let's see. So blesses go down on the Vanheri. The blessings won't be hitting the cavalry here. So the cavalry now passes by the infantry blob, and before the archers now can do so much pain to our front line, there's a blob of cavalry upon them, backing up our infantry. That is, to me, one of the most ideal setups that we can go for here, at the very beginning of the game at least. There we go. So let's see, at Robberholm, we lost one of our mounted herdmen, but no, he just lost his mount. How does that work then? Do I have now a unmounted herdman? Or does he just get a new horse? Anybody know? I really am wondering since a darn long time about that. I'd really love to know. Alright, so that definitely works out exactly as we wanted to. And yeah, so at this point, I'm going to roll in the outro because I want to have a bit of time to think about our future progress here. I mean, this is an excellent start. We are now on turn 9, and we got 2, 4, 6, 8, and 9 provinces, and currently we are capping more provinces each turn. So this upcoming turn, we can easily capture 2 provinces, and therefore I think we're on a pretty good roll. But I need to think about where we will now set up fortresses and think about a couple of next steps. So I'd be really happy to hear back from you in the comment section. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed, consider subscribing, and in the description box there's lots of links. Like I said, Discord and Twitch can be found there. There's also Patreon, PayPal, and Buy Me a Coffee if you feel like supporting the channel. And there's also my channel membership program, which allows you to early access all the things that I have pre-uploaded and will be released later. But don't you worry, there will be no exclusive content on my channel. I don't do stuff like that. I believe in free content for everybody because I want everybody, regardless of money, to be able to watch this stuff. Channel members just don't have to wait. That's all. Anyways, thanks for supporting. Thanks for watching this video up until the very end. I deeply appreciate you for doing this, and I hope you had a good time. See you all in the next one.